I've been wanting to do a little bit of an overview of the car and where it's at. My updates have been kind of sporadic lately and just based on when I have time. And I figured I would just give everybody an idea of where I'm at right now with the car and what hurdles I'm trying to get over. The car is back together. It's running, it's driving. The interior is put back together for the most part. And besides the junk in there, and I got to fix the rear seat still. It's kind of ripping it. But in any case, it's I'm getting there, kind of like one day at a time. I keep running into these, I guess I want to call them minor problems, but some of them have been a complete pain in the butt. But anyway, the intercooler system, I didn't really go into too much detail about it, but it all starts back here in the trunk, and the actually it worked out kind of good that the battery's in the trunk, but it connects to the fuel pump relay for the pump, and the pump is actually mounted behind the tank, and hopefully that shows up pretty good because I'm sneaking my phone back there. But the pump grabs coolant from the tank. It's got a 2-gallon reservoir, and I have to lathe make a cap for it. It feeds out the black line. It goes underneath the car, and then it makes its way under the car through 2 coolant tubes, which I'll show you guys in a minute, and it goes to the through the heat exchanger, the actual water to air intercooler, and I've since heat wrapped that. So that's probably a new addition that you guys haven't seen yet, but everything's been heat wrapped, and then it makes its way into the heat exchanger up front. That's stuck in the grill, which you can barely make out via the 2 fans in front of it. But and then I'll lift the car up real quick and show you guys. Oh yeah, and I cut some relief. These aren't done yet, but I did end up cutting some heat relief vents into the hood because the underhood temperature is unbelievable, and it's doing a lot of heat soaking right now, and my IT is moving around on me, and that's causing the car to run lean, and that's been a complete pain in the butt to fix. So I'm working on that right now. If there's anybody out there that's familiar with HP tuners and knows where the table's at that the IT is using to lean out the fuel, I would really like to know that, because I know that was available on P01 computers, and this is a P59, and I have yet to find it. So the guys who are well versed in that might be able to help me out. But anyway, these are the lines in the fuel cooler that I showed off in the last video, and they go from front to back. And then actually back here, this one just goes to a 5/8 line that goes up to the pump, and it unions out right there. So I just got a little union pipe in there. And then the other one actually wraps behind through some copper piping, like soft copper piping I just bent up around, and then that goes into the other side, and then it makes its way the remainder of the car. Actually, so you guys can get a better idea of how my exhaust is set up. It's all factory in the back, like the factory mufflers, and then it makes its way to a Y pipe that I made out of an old G8 exhaust that my buddy Mike gave me, and then it just continues on. I do have a catalytic converter on it, kind of useless, but it does help to take away like the boat smell, I guess, when you're cruising around. Although the loud valve being just a wide open pipe doesn't help my case with that, since most of the time I'm dumping the exhaust through this guy. But and I don't know that I've done any video on that, but yeah, that's the new setup, because before it was too low to the ground under the car, and actually I've hit the exhaust on the ground, as you can see, coming in and out of driveways. So today's project, besides like adjusting the tune and trying to figure things out with this thing, because every time I seem like I'm getting somewhere with the tune, something else pops up. But today's project was to move the air filter down underneath the car into the in the bumper area in front of the front tire. But I ended up taking a piece of 5-inch mandrel bent pipe, and I kind of squished it down a little bit and flattened out a little bit, and then ended up setting it up so that now it goes directly up to the turbo, which you can kind of see. But it's got, right now it's just held on with tape up top, because I got to order a 4.5 coupler, 4.5 inch coupler, and that's a 4.5 inch filter. And I actually ended up necking that down, which is why all these welds are on it, because I cut and then necked it down so that it would fit the 4.5-inch filter, so I wouldn't have to change my filter again. So anyway, that's all done, and then I'm gonna put a heat plate in here, and basically I'm gonna set it up so that this has its own little area that I can pull air from the bottom of the car, and not be affected by the radiator heat, because I'm finding that a lot of my heat soaking issues are due to just underhood temperatures being so high. There's a lot of pipe underneath this thing, and it gets hot. I mean, if I let it sit and idle without moving for, I don't know, more than 10 minutes, my IAT temp actually comes up to about 111 to 112, and then it'll start to run at like 16 to 1, 17 to 1, jogging back and forth. And then if you get into it, it'll start popping and banging, and it starts running real lean, and I'm having trouble with that. And then the other issue too is that it'll start to misfire pretty badly, and I can't, for whatever reason, the misfire counter is not working. I don't know if it's been turned off when you turn off short-term fuels or what the deal is, but anyway, it's not operating like it should right now. So that's another thing that I'm gonna have to look into and figure out exactly what's going on with that. But besides that, it's kind of like an overview of where I'm at right now with it. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for right now. It's just, I'm going to continue to struggle with the HP tuners and stuff. I might pull the plugs on it tomorrow and see if they are, just read them, just get an idea. I might actually go to TR7s. I got TR6s in there right now, NGKs, but the plugs are a little bit challenging to get to, because you got to get to them from the bottom with these headers. And I don't know how well you can see that, but they suck. They suck to get to. So anyway, this is the other side. So I might pull those out, see what's going on with that, and hopefully the plugs look okay, and it's just like a coil or something giving me trouble, or maybe I'll find a cracked plug, who knows. But you know, as far as my misfire goes, but it almost seems like a random misfire, so it might just be a lean misfire. So anyway, I'm still working on it, and eventually I'll get a hold of somebody about the dynoing the car, and you know, get on the dyno, get some videos made there, and get the final power tuning out of the way. But I want to kind of shake out some of the rest of the small problems before I put on a dyno, so I'm not wasting their time and not wasting my time with it being, you know, having some misfires and running lean because of the IET and stuff. So anyway, that's it for now, and I will probably do another update when I figure out what's going on with the plugs.